Hey guys, welcome back to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And today we're going to be talking about the news that's really trending online, and that is director, American filmmaker Sam Raimi, who's better known as an actor, producer, and primarily known for creating the cult horror Evil Dead series starring Bruce Campbell and the Spider-Man trilogy, of course. How can we forget that? And I mentioned Bruce Campbell and Spider-Man for a reason, which I'll get to in a few. But let's go ahead and talk about these amazing, exciting news right after the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to News to Astonish, and today we're going to be talking about how Scott Derrickson decided to endorse Sam Raimi for the Doctor Strange sequel, to direct Doctor Strange, that is. And this is really exciting. When I first saw this on Twitter, I literally jumped with excitement. Everything happens for a reason. So let's go ahead and read this article from Superhero Hype, brought to you by Blair and Marnell, and then we can discuss after reading this article. Earlier this year, Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson stepped aside from the sequel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because of creative differences with Marvel, quote unquote. That's usually the case. However, Marvel is reportedly in talks with Sam Raimi to take over the Doctor Strange sequel. If that deal closes, then Derrickson endorses Marvel's decision for his replacement. Via his Twitter account, Derrickson shared his reactions to the news and thoughts about Raimi. "I've worked with Raimi, one of the nicest people I've known in the film business, and as a director, a true living legend. What a great choice to take over Doctor Strange. Raimi helped pave the way for the modern superhero blockbusters with the original Spider-Man trilogy. He also helmed the Evil Dead trilogy, Drag Me to Hell, Darkman, and other genre favorites. Derrickson will remain on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse as an executive producer." So just to explain a little bit about this, the script very much has not really changed whatsoever. The script is still going to be the same from when the original Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness originally was conceptualized. The script has pretty much remained the same. They've only hired Scott Derrickson to only direct the film, so the film is pretty much still the same, but now we're going to be getting another director, so hence we're going to be getting a very much different vision. And what better way to emphasize those horror elements that Marvel and, well, Kevin Feige really stated that Doctor Strange is going to be a very much horror film, and it is going to be PG-13. But what better way to do it than to have a horror connoisseur like Sam Raimi to helm this kind of project? So I just wanted to throw in my input. I think this is an amazing thing, and it's a really big deal. And Sam Raimi is a comic book connoisseur too, so he would know a lot about comics, especially Doctor Strange, since he was briefly referenced in the sequel of Spider-Man 2. So, moving on with the article here on Superhero Hype, and it says, so far only Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen has been confirmed for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. A recent report indicates that Rachel McAdams won't return for the sequel. However, Chiwetel Ejiofor and Benedict Wong are expected to return. Filming will begin in May. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will hit theaters May 7th, 2021. How do you feel about the news that Rachel McAdams won't return for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? So you let me know your thoughts down below. Earlier I did mention Bruce Campbell for a reason. One, if you've seen a lot of Sam Raimi films, you would know that Bruce Campbell really often cameos or stars in his films because, one, they're actually really best friends in real life, and they've been so since like the early 80s. And Sam Raimi, one of his most famous projects aside from the Spider-Man trilogy, is The Evil Dead, and Bruce Campbell has starred in those films as the lead role. So Bruce Campbell has appeared as several characters throughout the Spider-Man trilogy. He was the announcer in the first Spider-Man film, and he was the usher at Spider-Man 2 who wouldn't let Peter Parker into the theater, and then finally in the third one he was this French host at a restaurant. So that's Bruce Campbell right there. Such great friends. And again, I want to emphasize Bruce Campbell because I believe, and here this is my theory, I believe Bruce Campbell can actually be a minor connective tissue to the multiverse in the MCU. And what I mean by that is that Sony is already planning a Spider-Man multiverse, right? So what if Bruce Campbell reprises his roles from the original Spider-Man trilogy and makes a cameo appearance in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that make basically the original Spider-Man films canon in some capacity? And we can also further confirm that Tobey can probably return as Spider-Man. The guy looks practically almost the same. I'm pretty sure he can get back into shape. Yeah, he's a little bit older, but I think he can totally return as an older, weary, tired Spider-Man. Just very much so like the Into the Spider-Verse film where we had an older Peter Parker training a young Miles Morales. So it is a very much a possibility that this can happen where Bruce Campbell can act as a very small connective tissue. But you need to understand the importance of this, because if this were to happen, we can indeed confirm that we're getting different multiple versions of Spider-Man in future Marvel Studios films, because Sony really wants to make a live-action Spider-Verse film. So that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think on the news of Sam Raimi helming the project and directing the new Doctor Strange sequel? You let me know your thoughts down below. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next video.